right. Well, we are recording, so we'll go ahead and get started. Hey, everybody, this is the amazing, beautiful, super successful, one of my mentors, Colleen Coesens, and she's been in the real estate game for over 30 years. And I just wanted her to hop on because she has a wealth of knowledge that she can share about how to stay in the business, how to be successful, how to be sustainable. And with that said, Colleen, I'll let you take it away and maybe tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. Since we only have one person here that I can see, I'm very comfortable. Anyway, I've been in the business, I think 32 years plus, and in a variety of roles, but mostly as a broker in charge in South Carolina, Ohio, and North Carolina. So I've moved around to different offices because of offers that were made to me, which I really appreciated, mostly because, whenever you're asked to join something, you believe that they believe in you. So that makes you want to work even harder once you get there. So the latest was I was the broker in charge in the Rock Hill Tate office for 14 years, I think. And I retired from that. And then my husband says, you got to be doing something because this isn't going well. So I decided to start my own coaching business, which is something that I have done for all the years as a broker in charge. So just took all of that and brought it to people like Joel. And the beauty of coaching is, for the coachee, is that they're paying for this advice, knowledge, experience. They need to follow it.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not a question of picking what appeals to me, what's the least amount of work. I can't believe that'll work. It's listening to the coach. And if you don't feel comfortable with the advice, then you have to speak up. You have to say, that's not going to work for me because. So I'm going to take this opportunity because Joel, who has become a very dear friend in the short amount of time we've known each other, and because he's been fun to watch, but he's just a sweetheart of a guy, mostly because he loves his kids so much. Anyway, I'm going to turn the tables on him. And he asked me, what do you do to build a sustainable business? And I'm going to say to you, Joel, what things did I share with you that turned out to be advice that helped you along your way?
I would say the main thing that sticks out to me that you told me that has helped me out is reach out. I mean, obviously everybody tells you to reach out to your sphere, but you are making it a point to stay consistent with reaching out to your sphere, and doing things kind of like a handwritten note. That's something that people are not going to just like wash over, because people don't get handwritten notes. Maybe that face-to-face time, things like that. And that has really helped me out. You told me to reach out to, people in my past career. I've done that.
Well, the thing about that, Joel, is this. It's one thing to say to somebody, reach out to your sphere. That is so ambiguous.
Yeah.
It's vague. So what we did is we said, okay, let's talk about who you are, what you've done, where you've done it. And when we did that, we went back all the way back to college.
Yeah.
And your fraternity brothers. And you talked about there's still some that you communicate with. And then in your career with the police department, you talked about those that were close friends. And those are the ones I asked you to target, because these are people that know you well and supposedly like you. We're never really sure.
Hopefully they do.
So really, that is really what worked, I think. And also how you did it. Yeah.
And I was going to say, to your point, thinking about it, it really did, because I have a police officer. He's a friend of mine. he is an investor now. So I've done a couple deals with him. I've done a couple other deals with multiple police officers already.
Mhm.
And even with my fraternity, I have a fraternity brother who is in real estate now. He joined me over here with EXP, a fraternity brother. I helped his brother sell his house. And then another one who's in real estate. He's at a different firm, but he hooked me up with a guy that he knows who does like all these organic leads and they just want like a percentage. And I've already got a commercial lead from them. Well, two commercial leads that's about to go into or about to be a listing. So just to that point, reaching out to that sphere has really helped me out 100%.
With consistency.
Yeah, correct.
And even though you loathed writing notes.
I wrote notes today, two of them.
All right, but I would ask you, did you do your notes? E, O.
I did do two today. I
Yeah,
promise.
you did. You did do a lot of that. So I would say that that is one of the most important things when you're starting a career. And the other really important thing as you're getting into this business is how easy it is to be disappointed, how easy it is to be frustrated, how easy it is to be hurt. Because you'll find that your family, particularly, in all probability, will not use you for their real estate needs.
Yeah.
And it has nothing to do with you personally. It has to do with they don't want you knowing their personal business. That's the bottom line. They don't, my family, and it's always been a kind of a pill for me to swallow,
Yeah.
but swallow what I do. And that for their businesses, and even though they live out of state, they wouldn't use me until I help them understand, let me refer you. So then whomever you pick, they have some other accountability, which would be me. I want them to know that I'm going to be their advocate and I'm going to check in on this individual who I have referred to ensure that they're doing the job that I have promised them. Okay. So then when that happens and they're so grateful, in fact, as it happens, I've got a text yesterday from a client that I had referred out, and his mother texted me and said, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Because you remained part of the program. You kept communicating, and my son felt so comfortable and the stress was limited at best.
That's awesome. Especially
So
for mom.
That's
That's
mom.
awesome.
Right. So, and that mom is someone that I had been referred to me, and I had said to her, her husband had recently passed away. And I said, I'll call her Jody. I says, Jody, you really don't need to move. If you want me to help you, I will. But I want you to think about this very deeply because it's so soon. You've been in this home for 30 years. This is going to be hard to just walk away this quickly. So fast forward, she said she really appreciated that advice and she's staying put because she realizes this is where she needs to be.
Makes sense.
So you're not always just selling real estate. You're working with people's lives, and to understand that and to internalize that, this is huge. This is not just a paycheck. And what I have found over the years is that if an agent starts chasing the paycheck, they will not last in this business.
Makes sense.
You have to think of the people first. This is a people business. It's local. Real estate is local, without a doubt. And when you go to the various real estate functions, everything from canopy meetings to your local association meetings to conferences.
Yeah.
The cost of it looms high. You're just going, I don't want to spend that kind of money. But the benefit is amazing. You learn. I just got back from Washington from the NAR legislative conferences because I'm on a NAR committee called the Risk Reduction Committee. This is my third year, and I was vice chair this year. And here you learn so much from all these other realtors from all around the United States and internationally.
Yeah.
And at every conference, they have all kinds of educational opportunities and training, top speakers, and the list goes on and on. So you come back, yes, it's expensive because you're paying for registration and for your food and for your hotel, but the benefit far outweighs that.
You
Far
can write that off, correct?
Yeah, you can write a lot of it off, right? Example coming up in November is the annual NAR conference. No one should call it NAR, it's NAR. Anyway, I learned that the hard way. So that's going to be in Orlando this year. Now, the conference I was at in Washington, there was 8,000 realtors there. So the one in Orlando will far exceed that number, far and away. And there's a lot of opportunities if you bring a spouse or your family, and NAR, the committee provides things for them to do. So the first night is a free night at Epcot, I think. I'm not sure, but all kinds of stuff that you can go to. But I digress. It really is about continuing to learn, continuing to take training. You may think you know it all. I had an agent who at the time was like 65, a young woman.
Yeah.
Young. And she came into me, had been doing business for a long time. She came into my office and shut the door, and always a top producer, always. And she says, Colleen, she says, you know what? This has never happened to me before. After 30 years in the business, she said, this has never happened to me before, because this is an ever-changing industry. It evolves and these days, it's such a quick pace. It is just flying off the walls, the things that are coming up to help realtors help their clients. And it's picking and choosing. And I know I'm kind of bouncing all over the place, but it's picking and choosing what is going to be your best tool. And when you start in this business, you see a lot of ads and you get a lot of emails saying, I sell leads. I can sell you leads. Why do you want to pay for something you can go get yourself?
Yeah.
There's all kinds of offers for everything from magazines to electronic kind of devices. You have to recognize what is it that you're going to need for your business. All right. Do you really need an electronic measuring tape?
Looks cool, but no.
Cool, right. Do you really need that right now? Are you better off, instead of spending the money on that and the subsequent batteries, et cetera, and the software, and saying to somebody, hey, look, I need this house measured and I need it done correctly.
Exactly. I'm putting that liability on someone else, not me.
Yeah, your time is saved. Your money is saved because time is money, and you're getting a very accurate measurement of the property.
Mm-hmm.
So it's things like that. Be careful of what you reach out to purchase. Another thing that is really essential, and you have learned this the hard way also, is balance.
Definitely.
Balance in your career, balance in your life. If you give 100% to this industry, you'll lose family. Mm-hmm. If you give 100% to your family, you won't have as much business. And it's like a marriage, okay? Yeah. In every marriage, on any given day, it's going to be 60-40. Hmm. Somebody's doing 60 and the partner's doing 40.
I thought I did 100% all the time, but
it's going to flip. Sometimes, it's going to be 100% because they need you for whatever reason. So your business is going to be the same way. There's times when your family, if you treat them with respect and they understand what you do, when you say, you know what, Dad has got to be out for the whole day, and I'm not going to be able to make that baseball game, and you know I always come. Yeah. I hope you understand. And then by Jiminy, you're at the next baseball game.
Yeah.
Okay. Or you could say, I'm going to have Mr. Jones videotape your plays so I can watch it. So they know you care, but you've done what you need to do with your business. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely. That's what I've started to implement in my life, honestly. And it's been helping out.
Right, right. And the other thing is you have to respect your own time. All right. This is a tough business. And those getting into it generally do not, unless they've had a good opportunity to talk to a proposed BIC or have done their research. It's frustrating, it's tiring, it's disappointing, as I said prior, because you go into it thinking, yes, I'm going to show a house, and just like on HGTV, they're going to buy one of these three by Jiminy.
That'd be nice.
That'd be nice. Not happening.
Yeah.
Not happening at all. And in this current environment that is unprecedented, and I've lived through the 2008, 2009 debacle, and this exceeds that in disappointment, because people are making offers on 6, 7, 8, 9 homes, and they're being outbid by cash or whatever. So the point of that is that if you've educated your client to the highest degree and you can tell them this is what you can expect, and if it doesn't happen, we're going to be really fortunate. It doesn't become about you anymore, like you failed me. It comes from, yes, you told me that this was possible to happen.
It's basically like setting expectations up front.
Exactly. And explaining what this process is. And that's leading into something in a little bit that I'll get to, but you have to respect your time, and you have to respect your client's time. And remember when I said to you, if you get a call at 9 o'clock, do you jump on it? Or do you have your
I used to, not anymore.
Your voicemail says, I'm unavailable at this time and will be returning all calls tomorrow morning. You're not saying I'm at a baseball game, so leave me alone. It's you're respecting your time.
I had, maybe this is, I don't want to say it's the extreme because it's just how I run my business. I try not to do any work after 7 p.m. So I had someone call me around 7:45 yesterday, didn't answer, called them back 8 a.m. this morning. They're perfectly fine. Because in my mind, there's no fire that's going to happen at 7 something at night that I have to fix. And if there is something that's coming up, I probably knew about it a little bit earlier in the day. But that's just how I run my business. Maybe
here's a suggestion for you. And this comes from some training, here again, training that I received many, many years ago from AT&T when I was working in international finance at a bank.
Yeah.
And everybody in the company, in the bank, from the CEO to the janitor, had to go to this communications class.
Yeah.
And how to answer the phone. And what they said that was very pivotal is your voicemail message. Never leave a voicemail that says, I will get back to you at my convenience. Really? That's just saying to them right then, you're
inconveniencing them, basically.
I don't value you enough.
Yeah.
So they also said it's smart, if you're a professional, to change your voicemail every day. That seems so onerous to a lot of people. I don't want to have to go through that. Get over it. Because I would leave a message. This is kind of like Cousins with Alan Tate Company. I'll be out of the office until 2 o'clock this afternoon, and I will return calls after that time. Thank you for calling. I would pick up the message, make the determination how imperative it was for me to get back to them right away. I'd call them right away, and they were like, oh, I didn't expect to hear from you. And I would say, I got your message, and it was so important to me that I walked out of my meeting to be available to you.
I like that.
They feel valued. You could say, this is Colleen Coesens with the Allen Tate Company, and he'll be in and out of the office today, but when available, we're returning calls no later than. So what happens? My question to you is, what happens when you call someone, leave a message, you hang up, and then you're listening for the phone? You're waiting for that return call. You don't know when it's going to come. Did they get the message? That goes on and on. If somebody knows that this is when you're going to be available to them, they go, fine. I can go about my business until 2 o'clock. Or I'm not going to have to, I know I'm going to hear from him tomorrow morning.
That makes a lot of sense.
Well, yeah, because then people feel, okay, I got it now. I understand. And if they're so anxious to hear from you, they'll call you back. Yeah. I've got a real estate friend in Ohio, and her message is always, I'm unavailable at this time. My apologies. However, please send me a text so I can get back to you sooner.
I might steal that. I like that one.
Because it works very effectively for her.
Yeah.
She'll get right back to them via text if she is in the middle of a transaction with them. If it's, what she can determine what she needs to do. Okay. And if she is unavailable, she has a text. She can be in a class or whatever. She can read the text and make some determinations at that time. She can text them back and say, I'm in a class. Unfortunately, I will get back to you at my first break. Here again, they feel valued. They're not hanging in the wind. It's all about communication. We're running out of time, but I wanted to say one other thing.
Yeah.
Which is the best thing that any agent can do, new or experienced, is to build their business plan with a budget.
That's what I need to do more.
Get him laughing. That. You have to build a budget, because what you're going to do is you need to recognize at the end of any year, not what your production was, not what your commission was, but what you're keeping. What is your actual net?
Yeah.
And then you look at what you spent, because that's telling you what I spent versus what I netted. If it's this, your budget was incorrect and you need to go back and look at some things. If it was this, you still need to look at it and say, all right, this has to be more than this.
That's smart. And then you know where your money's going to know if this is working or it's not working. Put more money in that, less money in that.
It's really easy to see something on the internet and you jump on it and you spend the money for it and you think this is going to be the best thing ever. If you do that, track what the return on your investment was. You're running a business here. This is a business. This is not a side job. This is dealing with people's lives and building your own future. That's what this is.
I mean, that's to your point. Like, since you said you're building a business, I've heard a lot of people say, you treat it like a hobby, it'll pay you like a hobby. You treat it like a business, it'll pay you like a business.
Yeah.
So I think that's true. Last question, and then I'll let you go. 'Cause I want to be respectful of your time. But something on mindset, because I'm trying to figure out how I should feel about something. In the beginning, when I first started real estate, I'd be super excited whenever I got a deal closed. I'd like celebrate, go out to eat, whatever, nothing lavish, but just treat myself. Now I feel like I don't do that as much, because it's like, no, I'm supposed to win. I'm supposed to get deals done. Like, this is just what's supposed to happen. So I don't always go out and celebrate. Is that the right thought, or what would you recommend?
I'm looking at what you're doing as mindset.
Yeah.
Okay. Your mindset is, instead of celebratory, it's when you start with this transaction, your mindset is that it's going to be successful.
Yeah.
It's not, I hope this doesn't happen. I hope that doesn't happen. And that's going to bleed into my last subject, which is professionalism.
Yeah.
Which is a huge topic on the national level.
I've seen some crazy stuff.
On the state level. Exactly. And a lot of that comes from the lack of training and the individual realtor recognizing that they're building a reputation that will bleed into a lot of things. So something as simple as returning another realtor's phone call or a text, leaving their business card after they have a showing, sending feedback. If there's 16 offers, call all 15 of the ones that didn't make it and say, I apologize, your offer didn't make it. It's courtesy.
Yeah.
Use it to your advantage, truly. And
I
go
don't
to
call. I do send a nice, I'm sorry email though. But
that's fine. That's
Yeah.
fine. No, that's great. But read everything that comes in the email from NAR and NCR and Canopy. And when I posted that about the tax location on Canopy,
Yeah.
it was amazing to see 46 people say, I had no idea. They received that information from Canopy, not once, not twice, 3 times. And I'm a director of the MLS on Canopy. And I brought that to everyone's attention yesterday at our meeting. And they were like, are you kidding me? I said, no. Realtors don't read. I mean, I asked you, Joel, I asked you, when you get on to Matrix,
Yeah.
and you see that pop up, do you hit, I've read this right away and not even read it?
So since, we're going live and it's recorded, I'm going to plead the fifth. That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah. Now I know what you do. Read it. Just
Will
read
do.
it. It's going to take you 10 seconds,
Yeah.
but you're going to know something that's important. And there's a lot of things happening within the MLS, not just locally, but nationally. And you need to be aware of this. This is your business.
Sure.
You got to know what's going on and how to improve your business, because a lot of things are coming down the pike that are going to be very beneficial to us as realtors as we build our business. So pay attention.
Yeah. Well, shoot, Colleen, like I said, I won't hold you. I appreciate your time, and thank you for being here. And we're going to schedule some coffee sooner than later.
Absolutely. Once your coach, always your coach.
Oh yeah, you're amazing. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
See you, Colleen.